Morning.
Morning.
Just hold on. I'm just going to quickly go open the door for my dog. Her friend is outside. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming. Just reunited my dogs outside. Well, my dog and my sister's dog. They are besties and absolutely love one another. One minute and then I will get started just giving a little bit of background context as to what we're going to be doing.
I don't think it's take notes, but I know this is for LO or something.
All I know is it's apparently right here. Design a superhero.
For English, Logan. Okay. It's 8 o'clock exactly. I am gonna let everyone still join us. Just to give you guys a little bit of context as to what designing a superhero is for. So this term in English, and this is supposed to be compulsory for all the level 10s, is we are creating a superhero, and the level 10s are actually doing film study as part of their English curriculum. So in essence, what the film study will aim to do is to kind of identify what makes a superhero. And obviously, it's how it's illustrated filmically through visual communication and through visual literacy. Okay. Now, when we look at the designing of a superhero, I want us, in essence, to start off by designing a superhero first before we look at how other people have created superheroes. Okay. So I think through application and through us going through the process of actually designing our own superheroes, we can get into and step into the shoes of many of the directors and many of the creators of superheroes. Now, obviously, many of us have seen superhero movies. We've seen the DC, the Marvel superhero movies. And we've also, if you are a comic reader, I don't know how many of you are comic readers. Some of you might actually have read some of the comics as well. Okay. And so some of our most famous exposures to superheroes you will find here. Okay. So I am going to give everyone a chance to kind of join in just to, well, I think we've got about 3 minutes left that I am going to give a little bit of grace for everyone to join. even though I'm pretty sure that this is not all of the level 10s. This is not the full. This is not everyone, but it's okay. They can watch the recording, which is not going to be as fun, might I add. Just saying. So I am going to show you guys just a few things that we will be looking at whilst we are doing this workshop. Okay, so we are basically going to look at the features of a superhero, and we're going to kind of have a checklist that we go through that we can kind of check off and say, okay, this is what a superhero should look like, should be like, the characteristics they should embody, etc. Okay, so you are not just looking at the physical when you are creating a superhero, you are also looking at certain attributes within the hero itself. Okay, so when we are looking at a hero in film, we actually get to see some insights into who they are as a human and their own personality traits, their flaws, and what makes them a hero. Okay, now you guys are all basically going to create a pretty two-dimensional character right now, in your own time, but if we were to take your superhero, we should be able to create a movie around it with a plot, etc., etc. So, just to give you guys a little bit of an idea, what we are aiming to do is you're going to create your own superhero, either through your own creativity or through the use of AI. With AI, it's a bit more challenging in terms of the fact that you actually have to guide it more. Whereas if I give you a character design kind of template and you get to draw it, you just have to kind of control your own mind and be like, okay, this is what I would like to see in my character design. This is what I would like to see it showing and exhibiting. Whereas if you asking AI to do it, it's usually a bit harder to design it. No offense to the AI, obviously. They're just not as good, I suppose. Okay, so if we look at, I'm just going to quickly show you guys what the templates look like. So these will be available and I will share them with you. So we have the male and the female design templates that I will share with you. So I did add in supervillain as well because throughout our film study, we are also going to look at the anti-hero. So you can decide to create either a superhero or a supervillain. The characteristics will differ slightly. Okay, so you'll see here, this is basically what your superhero or supervillain design template would look like for the gentlemen and then for the ladies. Now, some people have asked me, ma'am, but what if I want to do it's not a human? Then obviously you'll have to adjust your template. I have not designed super dog or super cat. I have not done that. I'm not that good, guys. Okay. Because I mean, to be fair, I think all of us think our pets are superheroes. They're pretty awesome. I do not know what is making that hideous noise. What is making the bloop bloop bloops noise? Is it my computer? I don't know. Hope you guys can't hear it. Okay. So, number one, what is a superhero? Okay, also, just FYI to the people I do not teach, if I stare to the side, it's just because I have two screens, not because I'm being rude and staring at a wall. Okay, it's just because what you're seeing shared is on that screen so that I can look at you and at the screen and read. Okay, so Usually they have some sort of extraordinary power of some sort, so something that sets them apart from other human beings, okay? From us normal humans, okay? They usually have some form of fighting, crime, or fighting a villain, or defending the weak, or, enabling justice. They always have some form of arch enemy. Okay, now the arch enemy does not necessarily have to be a supervillain. Sometimes it's just the evils that surround us in the world. Okay, so if we think of Captain America, okay, the arch enemy itself was not necessarily, it was in a war situation. There was a larger group that kind of justified as the enemy, okay, that they were fighting. And they usually wear some form of costume or design, disguise to hide who they truly are. Okay. Now, some heroes do not have like an alter ego, whereas, like Superman, where he like rips his shirt off and then it's like the Superman emblem underneath. It's not always that case. Okay. But for the most part, it's a very stereotypical thing where most of our heroes have a costume that they wear specifically, and then they have their everyday disguise, which they can kind of blend into society with. Okay. Now, here are some common traits. Now, obviously, these are not just words or characteristics that I've put down. The characteristics you guys are more than welcome to go and look up. But usually they do not give up. They have a crystal clear purpose. Okay, so there's usually something that they would like to achieve, and that is their main aim. Okay, superheroes always get the job done. Okay, I don't think any of us have really watched many superhero movies where there's been a bad ending. Have you guys watched any superhero movies where it's ended badly? Okay, and I'm not talking about superhero movies that are a parody or where they're making jokes about it. I don't think any of us have.
No.
Okay? Yeah. Yes, Cananello.
Hello, ma'am. I hope you're doing well. But
Okay.
what if in this case, like it is something that ends on a cliffhanger where the problem isn't necessarily resolved,
Yeah.
but it's like never, but like it's an entryway for like a
A
sequel
second.
of
Yeah.
some sort.
So sometimes they do that on purpose where they create like a cliffhanger of some sort in order to open up the possibility of having a sequel. And so you'll see they do that very much purposefully because they leave that open for us. I don't know if you guys, some of the superhero movies, they always have those post-credit clips at the end where they give us like a little hint. And they did it very beautifully with some of the Marvel movies as well, where they show it like right at the end. That kind of shows us like, oh, something else is going to happen, which kind of gives us just a little hint as to what the sequel will look like. Yes, Spider-Man also does that excellently. Um, yeah. So sometimes they do that if they plan on having a sequel. Now, usually with those superhero movies that have sequels, you will find that they were originally scripted as comics. And so you will find that there's actually a series of comics that already exist. There's already content, and they're just going to create movies out of those. Okay, superheroes are the best at what they do. Okay, so say for instance, this superhero, I'm going to call it the spaghetti superhero. He is the best at eating spaghetti. Okay, that is his talent. Okay, but what makes superheroes super relatable to us is that they are not completely flawless. Okay, they're not like perfect. It's not like where you look at them and you think, oh my goodness, this person could do no wrong. They probably poop butterflies, and that's kind of what they do. Life is beautiful. they always have some form of a human flaw that makes them relatable to us. Otherwise, we wouldn't watch it. Okay, we wouldn't watch superhero movies if they were absolutely 100% perfect, because none of us would relate to it. We would be like, oh, must be nice to have a beautiful house and a perfect family and superpowers and be super rich and help the poor and do all of this and then like not struggle with any human like emotions, have the perfect family, have children that are super well behaved, don't have load shedding, they don't have money problems, they probably live up on a cloud somewhere, and they rain diamonds down and create wealth for themselves and everyone around them. And it's so beautiful and peaceful. No one would watch that. We would all be like, after the first episode of watching that superhero, we'd be like, perhaps we do not relate to this. Okay, now, superheroes do not seek glory. Okay, they get it anyway, but they are just innately good people. So they do things for the sake of justice. Or, okay, Batman is different though. Batman does it for revenge. I love Batman. Batman is like the most relatable hero ever. It's like, what led you to justice? It's like, firstly, someone killed my parents and I decided vengeance. There we go. And then superheroes have true strength that comes from their character. So who they are as a person, okay? They have the strength within them because of resilience or whatever that happened to them. Then superheroes accomplish huge feats. So you'll see in every single superhero movie, we always have this massive thing that they need to accomplish, or they need a battle that they need to win, or, you know, they have something that they need to solve, okay? Or someone that they need to save. And it's usually massive. And we're all usually like, I don't know how they're going to do this. Okay. And superheroes help others. Okay. So it's like this natural thing. It's like me when I see cats, I just want to pet them. Okay. Superheroes, for them, cats, it's like crack. Well, crack to me, but justice is like crack to them. They're like, yes, I am addicted to saving the world. Whereas I'm like, I am addicted to saving stray cats. Yes, I should mention over the holiday, the people that I do teach, I have gained 2 more cats. I have 5 cats now. The cat distribution system was like, oh, you seem bored. You have 4 weeks of holiday. Let me just give you 2 more cats. Yeah. So how do I feed them? I just buy bigger bags of food. Don't worry, they're fine. Okay, and then superheroes can do it by themselves, but they are usually more powerful in teams. Okay, teamwork is the dream work. All right, Cameron, so we have Floof, and then we obviously have my original 3, which is Nugget, Biscuit, and Pickles. Now we have Floof, and we have Pumpkin. She joined us recently. Pumpkin had babies, but her babies were adopted. So Pumpkin she was a single mother. Okay, now, why do we have superheroes? Okay, so there's always this, they serve some sort of empowering role to us. It's a role model, it's goals for us. You can imagine a young generation of women watching, for instance, our delightful Natasha here, and thinking they want to be like her. If we think of Black Panther, especially being the first person of color to be exposed as a hero, that is pretty awesome. Okay, a whole generation of children seeing their very first person of color being a superhero. How amazing was that? Okay, I think they've also brought out a recent superhero where it's a Native American woman, if I'm not mistaken, which will be the first ever Native American superhero representation in ever. Okay, so today's task. You are going to use features of a superhero to create your own. Okay, so that is our main aim for today. Yes, someone's hand is up. Sorry, I can't.
You said that there's a native woman that is
Yes.
going to be a superhero soon. So there's also one there's She-Hulk also, and then there's this Indian girl. I forgot what her superhero name, but she is Pakistani, but she lives in New Jersey.
Oh, wow. So they've actually got lots of new female superheroes that are being represented. I like that. You will see the superhero does slightly evolve. If we look at the original superhero, guys, if we go look at Superman back in the day when it was originally created, and the superhero that, well, the Superman that we see today, very much morphed, very different. Okay. Much more relatable. Also the ideals have changed slightly. You can see there's more inclusivity in what our superheroes should look like. I mean, and then with the bringing in of Guardians of the Galaxy, we have kind of this where it's like something that's completely out of worldly, or someone who's not necessarily entirely human becomes a hero as well. So they kind of, we classify them as a group, as the anti-hero. So those are characters that would normally be considered not as good, extremely flawed, but then they do something really good to redeem themselves and to save humanity, etc., etc. Okay, so I love Guardians of the Galaxy, and I also like Suicide Squad because it kind of gives you this ideal of the underdog and the anti-hero who then redeems themselves through this amazing act of goodness, even though as humans or as whatever hero they are, we don't know. Some of them, I mean, if we look at Suicide Squad, some of them are not entirely human. My personal favorite is from Suicide Squad, the second movie, where it's literally like just, I don't know, it's like a sloth thing. That thing is just like the best. And then the shark. Ah, the shark was the best. So, those movies, because they are innately evil and flawed, and when they then do something good, we're all kind of like, yay, you did the good thing. So we're all rooting for them. And I think that's in essence what makes them so relatable in terms of the anti-hero. Okay, so we are going to take, well, we have to create information first. We look at the information that we have in front of us and decide what we're going to select for our hero. Okay, so features that we need to look at. We need to kind of have something that sets your hero apart from ordinary humans. So something that they can do. Um, Now this can be a power. It can. Oh yes, Deadpool is definitely an anti-hero. Absolutely. I must admit, I have not watched the new Deadpool and Wolverine movie. I want to watch it so badly, but I'm gonna wait until it's released somewhere on a platform of some sort. I don't necessarily want to go watch it in the movie theater because life is expensive and also I don't like movie theaters. Okay. Now, you also have to kind of look at your superhero. Some super like heroes are born like Superman. So he was born with this, superpower. It was deliberate. Whereas some are made, and some of them are mistakenly made. We're looking at Spider-Man, for instance. Then some heroes like Batman and Iron Man, they use technology slash money slash wealth to create their superpowers. So there is quite a, array of avenues you can choose from. So if you want to be like, okay, I would like my superhero to be born
Sorry, ma'am, you froze for a bit.
Hopefully our fro's looking relatively okay. You guys know that's how I keep my kids so extremely focused in classes, by just dying midway through the lesson, and then resurrecting from the internet death. Okay. What I was going to say is there are some deliberate heroes like Captain America, where he was kind of injected with the stuff that made him super, etc., etc. This is my attention tactic, yes. Mr. Northmore asked us the other, like last term, what was our engagement tactic? And I was like, my engagement tactic is just occasionally to fall off the internet, and then everyone seems to stay focused. It's a good way. Okay. Now, we have to kind of look at our superpowers. Now, these are just some superpowers I've mentioned here, like X-ray vision, regeneration, teleportation, weather control, force fields, underwater breathing, super strength, mind reading. I mean, if you look at X-Men, just like there is much more. Yeah, I'm not sharing anything right now. So when we see superheroes, you can see that these listed ones, very limited. Okay, you get plenty of other superhero strengths that you guys are more than welcome to go and research on, etc. Even create some if you want to. Okay. Then features of a superhero. So usually you have to have their name has to kind of indicate their powers, but yes, some of them do have more than one power. Okay. Now, the name does not always have to indicate their powers. Because, I mean, like Superman, he's just a Superman, but like it doesn't indicate any of his superhero powers, just that he's just a man who's super. Very vague, might I add. Okay. Spider-Man, on the other hand, seems pretty legit. Accurate naming convention there. Okay, it could also have a positive adjective added to the name. So, like, for instance, the Incredible Hulk or Wonder Woman. Okay, something that reveals the character's story, such as Spider-Man or the Green Lantern. To be fair, guys, before Deadpool existed, Green Lantern was there. And that is where I first saw Ryan Reynolds in a superhero movie. And honestly, it was the worst movie ever. And I'm going to say that out loud from my chest. Green Lantern was not a good movie. I might have also been influenced by the fact that I was on a terrible first date when I watched that. Don't ever go watch a superhero movie on a date. Yes, Cananelo?
Ma'am, when you say that the Green Lantern was bad, was it story-wise or just visually?
Both.
Hmm.
The visual wasn't too bad, but the story was what I think the story got me. Yeah. Okay, then your name could also potentially something up about their character, aka Wolverine or the Punisher or something like that. Okay, now this is in terms of creating your name. So step one is you guys are actually going to create a name for your superhero. Then in your name, you are applying knowledge such as, okay, something like Steel, Oracle. These are just names. Okay, you can use some of them as inspiration. Black Knight, Catwoman, Wonder Woman, Daredevil, Flash, Silver Surfer, that Rampage. I like it. Magneto, the Max, Thing, Mystique, Gambit, Black Widow, etc., etc., The Incredibles. You know, we have all of those. Okay. Now, features of a superhero. So we have our name. Now we're looking at the features. Okay. We have our superpower and our human flaw. So we need to have a weakness of some sort. Okay. So we can't just have the name and then a superpower. We need to also have something that makes them relatable. Okay. So if we look at Superman, kryptonite is his weakness. And also his love for Lois Lane is what makes him weak. Usually our superheroes always have, you know, some person or something that the villain can use as leverage against them or to kind of get them out of their hiding or whatever. Okay. Now, I'm not going to show you any of the clips that they want us to watch because we are watching an entire 4 films in this term. The level 10s are at least. Okay, now you have to look at your specific hero that you would like to create and then what flaw. Okay, so if we look at the Hulk, he gets angry. It can be related to their power. So something that makes the power pop out. It could be something that makes them weak, like kryptonite. It could be a physical weakness, like the devil is blind. It could also be a piece of equipment, so like Wonder Woman's bracelets. So if the bracelets are taken away, then they're essentially weak. Okay, or it could be their personality. I find the personality one the most relatable one because, I mean, you can have all the superpower in the world, but if you have like OCD or something or severe social anxiety, you're not necessarily going to be as super. But it's okay. It makes you relatable because it's something that we all globally go through. Okay. Then features of a superhero in terms of their alter ego. So very often our superheroes don't just parade around in their superhero costume every single day, all day long. Some of them also have to stay safe from the enemies and go pretend to work a day job, like Clark Kent being a journalist and then also a superhero by night. Okay, so you can choose to create an alter ego for your hero. Now, if we look at Suicide Squad, for instance, there is no alter ego. It's like those guys are just, we're stepping into who we are and there is no way out. Some of them are like hybrid creatures, so it's going to be harder for them to, in essence, blend in. So you can mention in your superhero and be like, listen, there is no alter ego. They have to hide in the sewers or something so that they don't get caught, or they, I don't know, they work in a zoo where all the people support them because they're really good with the animals. I don't know. Okay. This also creates some tension. So maybe the fact that there is no alter ego could create more fear and more tension because, you know, what if I get seen? But I mean, like the sloth creature from Suicide Squad, I mean, that thing is going to be seen regardless of whether it wants to or not. I don't think it has the the physical capability to distinguish that it's like, oh, I am being perceived. No, it's just like functions. Okay. Then, one of the ways that they obviously protect themselves is through the alter ego. Okay. So you can then create your name and your job for your superhero's alter ego. Then the features of our superhero is the costume. Okay. So the whole reason superheroes have costumes is so that they can kind of stand out from the rest of us. Okay. So they don't look like us waking up in the morning with our PJs and our gowns and our slippers and our morning coffee. They, yeah, imagine a superhero that looked like that. I mean, it would be relatable. I would probably call her super mom or something. And then some of our superhero costumes are a outward sign of what the character represents. Okay, so for instance, if we think about the Batman, literally Batman has like a little bat-shaped thing. Captain America has like the American flag as the sigil. The coloration of his whole outfit is very much USA, USA, USA type thing. Okay, then there needs to be distinctive looks for your character in terms of what sets them apart from a normal person. And this is done usually through the costuming and also just the physical prowess of your character. I mean, have you noticed that most of our superheroes, they are excellent human examples of the physique, okay? In terms of just, they don't look like normal human beings. They're not like us, well, like me, like a normal person who just sits and goes for a walk with her dog occasionally. It's not like that. They look like they are at the gym 24/7. Maybe that you guys can create one of the superheroes who literally his day job or his alter ego is that he's a gym instructor or something. Okay. And physical fitness is his passion. Okay. So now you guys all know that color has psychology behind it. So color has meaning. Now I know some of you, specifically the boys, you're going to be like, woman, what are you on? Color does not have meaning or feelings. And I'm going to say, yes, it's a subjective thing, but color does have meaning. So if we associate it, it's a connotation, meaning that something that connects in your brain when you see a specific color, that your brain goes, oh, that's what I associate that with. Okay. Then there's the color psychology, where if I paint my room pink, like they do in mental institutes, it does calm me down, but also might have a negative association with that kind of thing. Okay. Now, the color red is usually a warm and positive color, but there are varying degrees of red. I don't know if you guys recall that, like with Harlequin, with the red and the blue, it's supposedly, colors that are commonly associated with being good, but the combination of the two, it's a little bit disconcerting. And then also like a dark red, kind of like a maroon kind of color, that shade of red is different to your like bright, happy red. Okay. So it exudes a strong and powerful energy. They say red is energizing. It motivates us to take action, or in some cases, if you see a stop street, to stop. Okay, it signifies a pioneering spirit, leadership qualities, promoting ambition and determination, etc. Okay, then the color yellow, it relates to knowledge. Not in my mind. Okay, but anyway. But it is a color that is usually associated with upliftment and, illumination, and it offers hope, happiness, cheerfulness, and fun. Okay, so if we see the color yellow, we're all kind of like, woohoo! Okay, but then sometimes if we see red, we're like, ooh, red flag. Okay. Yellow is the best color to create enthusiasm for life and can awaken a greater confidence and optimism. So if you guys are studying, also, fun fact, if you are studying and you use yellow paper, your brain tends to absorb it better. If you don't use white paper, but you use yellow paper, your brain allegedly likes to absorb that. I do not know why. I've just read some studies on it. Color green is balance, harmony, nature, you know, etc., etc. Peacemaker, usually quite a neutral color. Blue, color of trust, allegedly, honesty, and loyalty. They're saying blue hates confrontation. I disagree, but that is just my personal one. Reliable and responsible. Wolverine is definitely not cheerful or fun or uplifting. Perhaps illuminating in terms of he illuminates something. You guys get yellow sticky notes because the yellow sticky notes, very effective. That I actually have tried. Pink represents compassion, nurturing, love, sometimes also associated with feminine, depending on what kind of pink you have, obviously. I've also read somewhere that pink is apparently the color of dishonesty. So if you wear a lot of pink, apparently you're dishonest. I didn't know that either. Okay. Also, it is the sign of hope. Okay. Did you guys know purple is usually associated with royalty, as well as your very dark shades of blue, kind of like your midnight blues, etc. Those royal blues, also the dark purple, etc. Now, okay, my attention grab was very successful because now I've had to change to an entirely new device. I just love this. Okay, so we have the gold, we have everything else. Now, obviously, I will share these notes with you guys as soon as my internet has decided to reconnect itself. And it will also be available on Blackboard. I'll make sure that it's uploaded for all of you. Okay, now, if we look at the superhero, you can actually go and look at a video by someone named Stan Lee. Now, Stan Lee was actually the person who created Spider-Man, the Incredible Hulk, the Fantastic Four. So he is, what one would call a expert at designing superheroes. And you will see that in the clip that will be on Blackboard, he actually describes how he created these heroes and what he needed to add to interest a specific reader. Okay. Now, what you are going to do is basically for this specific thing is, so for today, your homework is to go and create superheroes that are, okay, so you're going to find its name, the superhero's power, alter ego, flaw. Okay, so those are kind of the four things. Then you're going to think about your superhero's costume design. Is there specific elements or design elements that you want to include in it? A symbol of sorts. So I don't know if you guys know, like, let's say, for instance, the infinity sign. Okay, so if I want to create something with the infinity sign as a symbol, say, for instance, if you want to create something with the symbol of the sunflower, phoenix, something like that. There are symbols that have kind of global meanings
to us as humans that have connotations to them that you can include and make your superhero, good or anti-hero seem a little bit more standing out type of thing. So if you think of your anti-heroes, something like a lizard-like creature, that's not going to have the best connotations, but then lizards do have some redeeming qualities, I suppose, if you're into reptiles. Not my place to judge, but anyway. Okay, now, using AI. I'm really hoping my internet is back on, because I actually do need to use my Bing AI to use this. Image creator. Okay, there we go. I am back online. Let me quickly swap over to my laptop.
Hopefully I don't drop off the face of the earth again. My bad. Okay, so now I'm assuming most of us are over the age of 13, right? Okay. If not, just contact me personally. If you are not over the age of 13, you may not use AI. If you are over the age of 18 or 13, you can use it. Now, if you go into Bing AI and you click on the link below that I'm posting in our chat, basically what you're going to create is a superhero, but you're going to try and add in as much of the actual description of your superhero as possible. Okay, so you want to make the description as vivid as possible. So you want to include the name of your superhero. You want to include the colors, the superpower of your specific superhero. Now, with the description, if I just click in and I say, create superhero, you're going to see what it's going to do. If I say create, is it going to ask me to sign in now? Okay. Okay, it's signed in now. Beautiful. So I'm just saying create a superhero. I'm not giving it any descriptions. I'm not saying I would like the superhero to look this way. There we go. So number one, it's created Lion Man. Lion Man. Looks like Lion Man. Metal Lion Man. Okay, Lion Man. This kind of, I don't know what this is. A rip-off Iron Man. But this is kind of like Iron Man Gold. Gold edition. This is Iron Man with better hair. Yes, there is also quite a lot of animation, how to design your characters. Okay. Now I am going to quickly show you guys. I have to scroll down quite considerably. Actually, I don't have. Where is my superhero design? I created a superhero some time ago. Did I? Yes, I did. Where is my image? No, I don't know where I put mine. Okay, no, I don't know where I put it. Okay, so what I did last year, I think I might have to go into I think I put it in term 3, if I'm not mistaken. No. Where did I put you? Yeah, I can't find it now. Anyway, with the superheroes, what I did is I actually created a few superheroes that I kind of tried to create a South African superhero. Number one, very hard to create a South African hero. So if I say here with my creating a superhero and I'm like, okay, superheroes, etc. I'm just going to write it in here. Create a South African superhero. Now, see how little I've described. I've not given any color scheme. I have not added any superpowers. I've not done anything. But now I can say, okay, create a South African superhero. It's going to create a South African superhero. Now, when I actually add it in a little bit more, it's going to be a bit more vivid. Let's go with that. Okay, so this is my this one looks the most accurate. I like it. I like it a lot. This, no. Why does he have an American, Indian, Native American? No. This one could do. This kind of does not look very accurately like our South African flag at all, does it? They did not skip leg day. That's all I can say. Okay, now, so if I go and I make my description more vivid and I say, okay, create a South African superhero with the power to generate electricity. Goodness. The T. Let's say his cape is the South African flag, and the rest of his what color shall we make it? Green? I don't know. Yes. And yes, the arch enemy is definitely something we can create Eskom in there. Yeah, green. Then you guys can go as far as creating, after you've created this, you can then say, and now create an alter ego for him. And so the AI should remember to do that. Now I could go into much more like detail. Okay, so I'm just gonna say here, create, see what it creates now. It might be really good or it might be really bad. We don't know. I have not given enough. I'm just saying my description is not vivid at all. Your description can be a lot more. Oh my gosh. Looks like his name is Quibus. His alter ego is Quibus. Quibus is creating electricity. You know what he does is his alter ego. He's an electrician. And he works on solar panels. I love it! Quibus! I've called him Quibus. It's Quibus, guys. It's Quibus. Guys, if anyone is a native Durbanite, please can you create a Durbanite version of the South African hero? I would pay so much money to see that. And if you're a Cape Townian, I want a native Cape Townian superhero that just, obviously for us in Mpumalanga, yeah. Ours would just be like Kruger National Park oriented, to be fair. And like his alter ego will be someone who works in the Kruger National Park. And the superhero be like, you know, stopping poaching or something like that. Yeah, the Kruger National Park, we don't have much going for us except for the Kruger National Park. In Mpumalanga, it's just like Kruger. Whereas like Durban, I lived in Durban for 2 years, guys. I taught. That's where I started teaching. Was the best 2 years of my life there. I absolutely loved it. Yes, you may draw your character. So remember, I said with your superheroes, there are also the option to create the templates. I am, oh, the Free States. Oh, goodness, probably be farming related, wouldn't it? Although Bloemfontein has the roses, well, used to have the roses. I am going to just emphasize this by saying Bloemfontein used to be a lot more beautiful than it is right now. I recall. When I was studying, I went to Bloemfontein for like one of the, I think it was a sports something. Okay. I am sharing the design templates for the male and the female designs on our chat as well, just so that you guys can see. So remember, this is what they look like. So we have our female and our male. Now, obviously, you do not necessarily have to kind of create the superpowers and you don't have to fill that in here. You will have the opportunity to write that in your basically character description that you'll be creating on Blackboard from next week onwards. Okay, so you guys are in essence planting the seeds for next week, which you will start with the character design, what makes a hero, etc., etc. Writing in essence a story for your hero and creating the visuals with it. Okay. So that's what you are in essence looking for. You may use AI. Now, with the AI, I'm just going to state that you need to cite that you've used AI. So say, for instance, you're going to say, you're going to click your URL and you're going to copy it in. And then when you submit, you're going to say resources consulted, and then you say I used Bing AI to create my superhero. Because if we are using AI, guys, we use AI honestly, and we say I used it as a tool. I consulted this to look at potentially this, or I consulted ChatGPT to get ideas for a good name for my superhero who is from the Free State. Bless his soul. Okay. So that is what you're going to do. And so you guys are basically going to get started with it today, over the weekend, and obviously just get your ideas down, jot them on a piece of paper. And then obviously next week when we start formally with classes, you guys will have the opportunity to kind of put that in there. Oh yes, I like yours. I love it. Beautiful. Okay. So, and then as soon as we start with our actual film study, remember we are going to be using some streaming sites that might be less than legal. Just stating that in advance because the legal sites do not allow us to share our screens with you. Just so that you know, just putting that out there. We will be streaming it online so that you guys can watch it, and we will obviously share those links with you. If you have Disney Plus, however, you will probably have access to most of those. Okay, yes. See someone's hand is up.
Maria.
Yes.
So
Yes, how can I help you?
did something like very similar.
Yeah.
So it's something like similar to what you're talking about, but I had to create the whole character, create a comic book strip, like a whole story and a background to it, and I had to create a villain and a sidekick and everything
Oh wow,
else.
sidekick
Like
even.
I kept it on my laptop.
Oh wow. Well, you are more than welcome to rework it a little bit, and update it because obviously when you created it, it wasn't hopefully very close to the time now, but you can update it a little bit and go and zhuzh it up. Yes, Liseni.
And what should we get done by the end of this week?
So you're going to have at least the name, superpower, flaw, and just think of the alter ego. If there is one, if there's not one. Okay.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okie dokes, guys. It was lovely having you guys for our session. Obviously, if you can just communicate in and amongst your classes, you know, what they missed, I will make this recording available to them. I will share it on Blackboard just so that they can see, you know, with the dramatic pauses in between for emphasis. And then we will obviously start next week. Your teacher will obviously communicate whatever you need to do. I am the one creating the content, so whatever you see on Blackboard, it's me. So obviously you'll see that everything that I've now kind of introduced you guys to, it will be translated onto Blackboard in English itself, and it will then flow through and you guys will be able to access. And I hope you guys have an amazing third term. I hope you are as excited about the film study as I am. It's like my favorite part of teaching is the film study part. Absolutely love the visual literacy. So cannot wait, and I would love to hear your feedback. So obviously at the end of the term I will send some form of questionnaire out, and then you can kind of say, ma'am, we should improve this, or maybe we should include this film instead, or we should take this one out or do that. And so because I like the feedback, because I created this last year, and so hoping it's relatable to you guys as well. Okay, I hope you guys have an absolutely wonderful Thursday. And for my kids, I shall see you next week. For the others, you can just pop me a message on Teams if you have any questions.